Hi, Danny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for accepting this meeting, this exchange of ideas, kind of interview, so we can fully understand what the Beechwood experience is gonna be for the students traveling from Peru on their holidays to England to live that boarding life experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely my pleasure. We are very excited to be receiving the Latin American contingency over in England, and I'm sure it's going to be a very fruitful partnership. So we're thrilled.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, what can you tell us about the school itself? Because people would like to know what the school is like. Uh, you know, Even from the buildings where the students live, where they study, where the school is located. Things like that, so we
Sure.
can picture a little bit.
So the school has a long history, a Catholic history. It used to be an all-girls Catholic school, and about 4.5 years ago, it then became not so much of a Catholic school, even though we still have lots of sort of Christian values that we promote at school. But it's been a building here, which is like a Victorian building, English Victorian building in the middle of the countryside, but really close to a fantastic city center. So it's in the middle of Tunbridge Wells, very leafy, but lots of little restaurants and shops and things. So you're not in a village in the middle of nowhere with like 1,000 people, right? So it's a decent size town. The school is about 360, 370 pupils, and we are co-ed, girls and boys, and we go from the age of 3 to the age of 18. So we have a little bit of everything. And it's lovely because, we always see the older children sort of helping out with the younger children. It's a really lovely relationship that we have at school. So there are more day pupils than there are boarding pupils, and that is sort of usual for a school that is a hybrid, a mixed boarding day school. Um, and our boarding facilities are actually within the main building. If you look at the building, it's sort of an old Victorian, as I said. It's lovely. It's very quintessentially British, with lots of trees around, wonderful opportunities for the kids to be outside, really enjoying all of that interaction between the inside the classroom and learning outside the classroom as well. We have 2 football pitches, which is used for football and rugby and hockey. And then we have a 3G pitch, the tennis courts. And in the center, along with the humanities building to the side of it, followed by the STEM building, sports hall, the strength and conditioning room, which is a gym. So there are lots of opportunities for the children to have during the day and after school. The boarding house is very vibrant. So, last weekend on the Saturday, they usually have these wonderful outings, and they went to Aqua Chimp, which is like an aquatic park, and they had a fantastic time. They came back, we watched videos. Oh no, we had a magician show in the evening, so that was fun. And they got some of the boarders to participate. It was very funny. And so every day there was something a little bit different for them. There's always time, like downtime, for them to, sort of spend time with their friends in boarding, not always doing something. But we try and get that balance right. And we say that it's a bit like having your home away from home. And especially because we're in the building and it looks like a giant house, really. It is a chateau kind of look to it.
So from which age are the students allowed to stay, for boarding?
So we have boarders from the age of 11 to 18. We separate them in different corridors. So you'll have a sixth form corridor, you'll have the key stage, the 14, 15-year-old corridor, and then the younger ones in a different corridor, obviously still separated by being girls and boys.
That's important. Yeah, I read in the handbook, that the boys are not allowed in the girls' alley and vice versa.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that's the right thing
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
It's all part of one house. They don't have to sort of the dining hall is in the same building, so they don't have to leave here to go to their breakfast, their lunch, or their dinner. We all live in this one house, but it is right and appropriate to have that division and the girls to one side and the boys to the other.
exactly. But in the common areas, they can always be
Oh,
together in the classrooms, in the common rooms, in the
absolutely.
kitchen.
Yes, absolutely. You always find, the kids cooking when after they've had their dinner or whatever. They wanted to make popcorn or whatever it is that they wanted to do. You always find them together. So that's not, yeah.
That's good. So from the boardings, would you divide the students in 3 groups, like the sixth form and then the other groups in 2 groups? Or, how are they organized for the subjects
Don't really divide
academically?
them. Oh, no, yes. For subjects, yes. So they will go into the classrooms with the other children their own age, right? And you will get a buddy and they will stay with that buddy, make friends with the kids in the classroom, do everything they do in terms of their day-to-day. Now, sometimes we have some pupils, I know it's not your case, but we have some pupils where English, they want spend more time practicing their do is have set. Yeah, did you hear me?
No, we got a little bit lost.
Okay.
Yeah, you were
So
explaining about the buddy system, and then we didn't
yeah,
get the
so they
idea.
have a buddy and they will stay with the buddy for all of the lessons throughout the day. But I was just saying that sometimes, and I know that's not your case, but some of the children that come to us are here to practice a lot of English. And so they may be not with their buddy all day because they might have some extra English lessons, but then they go back in.
That's an important point, no? So in the case, because as you say, no, most of the other students that would travel from Peru would be coming from a school where the subjects are taught in English. So basically they should, very fluent
Exactly.
English.
Yeah.
But not all of them, like that last student that we have enrolled comes from a school, I think, which the main second language is German. And then English
Oh,
is going to be the third language.
yeah.
So I am not really sure, what, how the level of English of this particular student is going to be, but definitely not as good as the other students coming from the British school,
Understandably. Yeah,
no? So in
understandably.
this case, let's say that the level of English of this student is not that strong. What kind of support do you give the
So
children?
we have a whole EAL department,
Okay.
and they will give small groups or one-to-one lessons in English. Sometimes, if we want them and if the student is comfortable with that, they will come to the lesson with them. to give a little bit of support inside the lesson. For the older students, that's really important because they don't want to lose time when they're studying astronomy and maths and whatever. When the language loss for them, it's lost time. So if there's someone there, they can just turn around and say, I didn't quite understand. So that's useful for them. But in general, we have a whole department and we put a bespoke program together that fits in with their timetable in support of English
That's
and
brilliant.
culture.
So the students that don't manage so well English, they're going to have the support from the EAL department.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. These are all
Okay,
qualified TEFL qualified teachers. Yeah.
that's very, very crucial. That's very important. So, what can you tell us, let's say, because I don't think students, well, boarders won't go, I don't think boarders will go 11-year-old. They would go
Uh-huh.
with their parents, which is one of the cases, not that we have, that the
Yeah.
parents are going to rent a house near the
Yes.
school.
Yeah.
So the students, I mean, that's also fantastic, no?
Yeah. It's wonderful.
So, I've noticed that in England, the students can choose the subjects, but not always, no? So when they're young, they have to follow all the subjects are compulsory. So they follow the British curricula. Everybody's studying all the same courses. But when they choose the GSCs, they get to choose a little bit of the subjects.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
when they further, in the sixth form, they choose only 3 or 4 subjects.
Yeah.
Can you explain us how that works?
Yeah, so you have your core subjects, so your maths, your English, your sciences, and then they are able to choose 4 options. Now, many schools, they will limit those options, but we feel that it's important for them to be able to choose what they like. So, for example, you can start already choosing between design and technology, food, geography, history, photography, business. There are a number of things that you can already start choosing. Criminology. There are lots of different subjects that mold more to what to their interest level. So if someone is coming in and they're coming into GCSEs and they are very artistic and so they want to do art, drama, photography, and something else, that's okay too, because they still get maths, English, and science.
Okay, so in the case, that one of the students would be at this age of
Yeah.
GCSEs, would they still have to take the core subjects or not? Or they
Yeah.
could, yes, yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Yes, because that's the whole experience, right? So you're going to go where the other kids their age go. And
Okay.
of course, that their English isn't strong enough, and we use more of that time to support their English. But in the main, yes, they will go with them to English, to science, to maths, as well as doing the options.
So these students are going to be 14 and 15 years old?
Okay, yeah,
Yes. So
yes.
the younger students, 12 and 13, what are
They
they
will.
doing?
They have a regular set of lessons a day. They don't have those choices, but there's a lot going on. So, for example, oh, jeez.
Yeah, sorry. We're back.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so you were going to explain us about the
key
younger.
stage 3, yeah. So they have. Oh gosh, again, are
No,
you
there you
there?
are. We're good.
Okay. Okay. So they have English, maths, and history, and geography, and all those things, but they also have textiles and art and design and technology. So they have a carousel. They have character education as well, which is on a Friday afternoon. It's kind of like a little bit similar to the Duke of Edinburgh Awards, where they come in, they do things outside with a special troupe that comes to support the curriculum that way. So there's a lot of different opportunities to engage, not only in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about the Duke of Edinburgh you just mentioned?
So the Duke of Edinburgh, 3 awards. So you have the bronze, the silver, and the gold. These are what we consider sort of the top echelon of sort of achievement in terms of all of those good things of character and integrity and critical thinking, and can they do things on their own and responsibility.
Tell us about the Duke of Edinburgh Awards.
The bronze, the silver, and the gold awards, and these are really highly considered in the UK and abroad. So you do the bronze first, you go on to your silver, and you go on to your gold. They involve a community project. So usually a charitable, quite substantial charitable project. It has an element of sort of showing character and integrity. So it's something they have to do. A work experience. And the last one, which is always the one that they like the most, it's an orienteering one. So they are guided to, and they practice this through a period of time. They're guided to a certain area, and using maps, no phones anymore, they have to get to another area, another meeting point. The gold expedition is over 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The bronze is only 1 day, and the silver, the bronze is less of a day, it's an overnight. The silver is a little bit more than that, but the gold is quite substantial. It's fun. They love it. They absolutely love it. Now, these then, when they get awarded these certificates, they then, they usually include that in their university application to say that they got awarded. They get a proper medal and a certificate for it. In the gold one, for example, it's quite a big deal in England.
Okay. So your school needs to have the agreement, or anybody can apply to the.
No, you have, we have a partnership with the Sea Cadets, and the Sea Cadets, they put on all of our DOV projects and expeditions.
Okay, so a student traveling for a short-term course, could they participate in this award?
So they can't go on an expedition, but they can go on a couple of sessions while they're here.
Okay. So you were also about to explain us about how the sixth form, but before that, I noticed that the sixth formers, they don't wear a school uniform, so they can wear their own clothes with a business attire, so they look very formal and good and etc. But the younger students, they have
uniform.
The uniform. So if a Peruvian student enrolls and they're going to go, not to the sixth form, but with a younger age, how are they going to be able to get the school uniform?
So the school uniform is a white shirt. It could be any white button shirt. And we could make, what we do is sometimes we loan the skirts and the blazer, because the trousers are just gray trousers. They can get any gray trousers with white button shirt, and then we can loan them the blazer and the skirt. So that's not a problem.
Okay, so the school would provide a school, and they would have to pay for it.
Yes, but you know, it's a deposit just to make sure that they, you know, that we get it back.
Yeah.
Nothing
Okay.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know, because that was one of the questions that, I was asking myself, where do we get the beautiful
Sure.
school
Sure.
uniform? Uh-huh. So, how does it work, the sixth form? Because I saw that the students are quite free. So that means they don't have lessons.
Don't have lessons. They
Yeah,
have
because
lessons.
I mean there's a lot of free study, so they have
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah. Well,
projects. So how does it work? Or how many hours do they have, like formal lessons with a teacher in front of them?
so they will have 6 lessons a day, but some of those lessons are 2 hours. So they have
Mm-hmm.
blocks. Yeah.
Okay.
When they don't have a lesson that day, they are expected to be in the study room
Uh-huh.
revising, because what we say is that for sixth form, above and beyond all your lessons, you need to give about 5 hours extra a week for each subject.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
for 3 subjects, that's 15 hours. It's a lot of hours. So the time should be well spent, appropriately put to work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they have their dedicated study hall.
And besides studying, do they participate in sports, or that's up to them?
Yes. No, no, they are expected to do what we call, well, we have PE and games. So if they're coming in January, that's going to be rugby, or maybe hockey, one or the other. For the girls, it's going to be netball. And so they're expected to participate and join the team.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, someone's
Okay.
coming through the door. Shh. Excuse me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realized.
Yeah, okay. No, that's okay. Okay, don't worry. So, also something that would be interesting to understand is about the the free time, the time that they can go like to town. I saw there's also like privileges, no? It's called a privilege that they can go to town,
Yes.
and that varies according to the age of the student
Yeah, and parental permission.
and parental permission. Okay. So most of the parents, they give like full permission or no? What have you
Depends,
noticed?
depends. I have had some parents before that didn't give permission for the children to just walk down. It's only 15 minutes walking to the town center. Um, and that was frustrating for them because all their other friends will go. So we tried to explain to the parents that it's really safe, that it really isn't an issue. It's sort of one road, all the way straight road down. And that, you know, it's just cafes and restaurants and small shops, and it's really, yeah, again, quite safe and secure. And so eventually they said that it was all right. So everyone ended up going. But
Mhm.
yes, they have these privileges. They're allowed to come. They have to be back for dinner at 6 o'clock. But you
Mhm.
know, Lucretia, look, sometimes they'll say to me, oh, my aunt is visiting, my mum's friend is here. They want to take us out for dinner. And then they send an email to the head of boarding, and then they bring them back later. There is,
Mhm.
but some of them have like football training in the evening. And so what they do is they will come back, but they have a curfew of being back in the boarding house at 10 o'clock. And but
Mhm.
we have to know where they are at all times, you see, because
Ah,
that's the
good.
responsibility. And they know that because we have pretty open conversations with them and saying, look, if I know where you are and you have permission to be there, it's not an issue. So some of them, the sixth formers in particular, will go to London on the weekend because it's such a short train journey away. They walk, 10, 15 minutes to the train station, which is in the middle of town. They'll take the train to London, spend the day in London, and then come back in the evening on a Saturday or a Sunday, which is perfectly fine as well. Again, as long as we know and as long as we have parental permission.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then about the progress report, all the students, they do get a progress report.
Depending on the time of the year that they're here, but we for sure can give you a progress report in particular for any of your students coming in, regardless of the time of the year.
Okay. And what does it state? So what's it like?
It depends again. So sometimes it's very much, they've just had really big exams. So then all of their grades are going to be there. And then sometimes it's between a lag in exams. And so it's more about attitude to learning and behavior. And so it really depends on the time, the target grades, how are they doing according to their targets. So it depends on the time of the year. But if there is something specific that the schools want to see once they come back, if that's something that is of value, then I'm happy to look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because I think, it's useful. It's something people value, to have
Of course.
a report that expresses what their experience was, what
Yeah.
they
The
learned,
teacher
what they
will
achieved.
give a comment, a comment
Yeah.
per subject. And they will have a short comment and they will say, worked really well. They were, they've put a lot of effort into all of the tasks that they did. We were particularly pleased with this piece of work, this piece of work, and this piece of work. So that sort of thing. And that's always good to see, to have, it validates a little bit of the experience of being in another school.
Yes. Thank you. I mean, I have learned a lot with this conversation. I think it is a wonderful opportunity. It's not necessarily, easy to find a good school that can receive students for a short stay and
Sure.
give them the opportunity of living, the boarding life and making friends, English friends.
Yes. And it's that independence. It's their first step in independence for many of them, to be
Uh,
away from home. But that's not just camp within, 2 hours away from home. This is really far, different country, different language, different experience. And so we try and make that an enriching one so that they have a lot that they can go back with and say, we did this, we did this, we did this, but I learned this and I met this person. And so those
mhm,
experiences, they stay with you for a really long time.
mm. And it does, I'm sure. Thank you, Danny, so much.
Thank
Really, it's been
you.
a
I'm so
super
sorry about all of
pleasure.
the internet stuff
I
today.
know, yeah, technology is technology. We cannot control technology. We depend on it. But
We
yeah,
do.
thank God we could go through all the main
Yeah, for
points.
sure.
And also the handbook is very complete, no? And still, if by chance we have, an extra question.
Amazing. Well, just reach out. Yeah, not an issue.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I will speak to the kids, not this Saturday, the following Saturday.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay?
Okay. Thank
Amazing.
you.